So, to begin with, uh, what I've been through has killed people. My life is a message of hope. As when I was just a toddler, 1 year old, I wasn't keeping too well, so there were multiple tests done, and it was diagnosed that I had a non functioning kidney, and the other kidney had hydronephrosis in it. Now they had to perform a surgery on me, so the surgery took place in AIMS, Delhi, and the surgery went well, and I was back to leading a normal life, and I don't even remember it because I was a child.
When I was in seventh class, we came to know that my mother has liver cirrhosis. This happened due to blood transfusion when I was born. We waited for another 7 years, after which, when I turned 18, we decided to go through the liver transplant. And it was pretty sure because our blood groups matched that I had to be the donor.
When I was 20 years old, I started feeling not so good, so I got myself tested. And then the doctors, my worst nightmare came true, that the surgery which happened years ago, it left a mark inside somewhere the kidney, and nephrons started flowing out. So I still remember in 2010 December, I had to undergo dialysis. Now dialysis is a process in which they filter the blood through a machine. So it's artificially done. So you have to get it done twice a week or thrice a week. So I had to get it done thrice a week, and that used to happen in Fortis, Vasant Kunj, in Delhi again. I used to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning because you know how Delhi is, and then breathing through the traffic, I had to reach hospital, and the dialysis used to happen for 3-4 hours, and I came through a book by that time that was called The Secret. That book somehow gave me a lot of power, and I had my dialysis for 3-4 months. Meanwhile, we were looking for a donor. Luckily, my uncle, who saw me since childhood, he wanted to give me a kidney, and I'm really thankful to him that he donated an organ and he gave me a life.
My father and I remember, had a 20-second discussion that my mom needs a liver, and I said yes, and that was about it. I had a lot of family, friends, relatives telling me that it wasn't the smartest decision, but I guess it was the best decision I made in my entire life.
So now the days of going under the knife came very close, the date of transplant. And there comes a point in life when you're lying down on the bed and you have a 4-hour dialysis and you really don't know what to do, because it's tough. I mean, because you are at an age where you haven't seen life. You've just not witnessed so many things which others have. In the last 3 years, you were anyway struggling. You never had a good life. You couldn't do much. At a point of time, you realize the intangible things of life, like things, the monetary things, like the money part, the everything aside. Sometimes what you value is life, because if you're alive, you have everything. If you're not alive, all these things, like money, fame, land bank, example, like things like that, they just don't matter.
Saying yes to becoming a hero is easy. Going forward and actually doing it is a whole different story. You must have gone to the hospital being sick and coming back fine. I am one person who went to the hospital absolutely fine and came back on a wheelchair. So, yes, when I woke up and saw myself across wires, unable to sit, stand, speak, move, uh, even say something to the nurse, yes, it was a very difficult phase, and it took me about 3 years to complete my recovery to the normal self. So I know it has been a very difficult journey, the recovery has been a struggle, but just knowing the fact that she knew that I did everything I could to save her is what makes it so much worth it.
So I put a paper in front of my, well, yes, I got through my transplant. I got done my transplant luckily, and I still remember vaguely waving at my parents, after the surgery, that it's all is well. But I was in pain. I was on a lot of painkillers and stuff like that. I wrote a note in front of my bed. I asked the nurse to stick it, and it said, "I will be out from here in 10 days." Usually people take 12. Slowly, 6th day, 7th day, I started going to the washroom myself, and my recovery was faster than anyone in the hospital. There were multiple transplants happening, and in fact, I was sharing a room with someone, and I could see his progress and my progress. My progress was way better because I was not complaining of anything. All I thought was कि मुझे यहाँ से बाहर निकलना है, and I was out in 10 days. Now I'm going to tell you how my journey towards fitness started. So I went to the gym. I went to the club one day and I started walking. So initially, 15 days, I started walking because I was on steroids. And although they were catabolic, but they release energy, steroids. So I started getting thinner and thinner and thinner. And because I started walking also. So initially, I started taking a round of like some 300-400 meters, and I used to get tired. But my stamina kept building up in the coming weeks, and a day came when I lost so much weight, and I told my doctor, I said, "Doctor, if I keep moving like this, I feel good after a walk, but still, I can't. I'm losing weight and I want to do something because I'm full of energy right now." So I said, "Can I go to the gym?" I just asked him. So he was like, "Yeah, you can go to the gym, but always remember, you don't lift heavy, okay?" I was like, "Fine." Trust me, if you want to play a sport, you have to give your 100% to it. And that's what I did. I went to the gym religiously, spending hours in the gym, slowly building naturally. I built my body naturally, and slowly, I reached to a point in life where I became a bodybuilder. Because I imagined myself to be one, and I always used to imagine a good chiseled body with good shoulders, good chest, and rock solid abs and a good back. I realized that because I was consistent, because I never gave up, and I had this positive attitude towards life, I was there where I wanted to be. And then I started powerlifting. In 2018, I hit a bench press of 162 kgs. I did a squat of 162 kgs again. I did a deadlift of 180 kgs. So that's, people who've not been through a transplant, are not usually able to pick that kind of weight. So, the boundaries which people create in life, sometimes you have to break the barrier because, you have to believe in yourself to break that barrier. And I broke that barrier. And then I got to hear about the transplant games. So unfortunately, I couldn't go to the Spain Malaga, which happened in 2014. Then there was this, it happened in Italy. So even I couldn't go at that time. But yes, I then somehow got a chance to go to UK, and I started playing squash, and that's how I won the silver medal. And then I was also invited to various national games, and I won a lot of gold medals. I think I have 12 gold medals and 2 overall champion trophy, and 2-3 silver medals as well.
Well, absolutely. Just getting selected for the Indian team is an absolute honor. I had been a national swimmer, squash player, and I brought that experience in. But it was another struggle to do it as a liver donor now because I had left sports for 3 years. That came in with 6 hours of training, morning and evening, my workload, and another nutrition regime that I have followed till date. So yes, it has been a hard 6 months journey to just participate in the games. But yes, just seeing myself wearing that medal and wearing that medal thrice has given me absolute honor, and I think it's been worth it.
So, I'd sum it up by saying that just remember in life, whenever something happens, when something goes wrong, always tell yourself you are stronger than your problems and God is there with you, and just have a positive attitude towards life, and you can achieve anything what you want in life.